what's the plan with MomTok going forward?
Will it survive? I don't know.
Will it survive?
I mean, I feel like as a group, like, yeah, Whitney's a little bit on the outskirts, but our hope is that she will eventually come around.
Do you think it's a little bit or a lot of it?
It's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy if she never came back, but at the same time, I know she's pregnant and hormones can definitely play into that. So if she came back and like we could all have open conversations and there could be accountability, I think we could move forward.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And I think like MomTok's going to continue whether she wants to come back or not.
There's still 7 of us.
Can we also clarify for people that there is not like a MomTok like account?
No,
that's like, because I think that's been, I think that's been confusing
I don't know
to people.
how you guys haven't.
No, we should
I think
actually.
that's been confusing to people that they thought like, oh, they all are like a, because when it's
like
described
a content house,
as a creator house, it's like, oh, then maybe there's one account where they're all, but it's like you all have your own separate stuff and you appear in each other's stuff and it's like a group.
It's a collab.
But there's not one individual.
Exactly. Well, that's how MomTok started is because we all had our own brands. Like most of us had like our own TikTok accounts. And then it was like, oh, these are other moms who are like Mormon in Utah. They're like, they're close by. Like, why don't we collaborate, get the views up, the likes up, and like, you know, help each other out and make it like a little side, not like business because we're not making money together, but like just building our own brands personally. Turn into MomTok, but there never was like an account for it.
There's a new season plot. We need to create.
We
need to buy a house together.
Right. Exactly. And but I feel like if you do create the account, then you'll be like, do we post it on this one? Do we post it on our personal? It'll get tricky.
That's
Even
what's hard. It's like you have
decide between all of our accounts who gets what.
Right.
Yeah, you have to double content. You know?
Right.
Sometimes
It's like whoever comes up with the idea, it's like,
exactly.
it's my idea.
Right. There is a bunch of you.
Yes.
When, you know, not to go back to the beginning, but I am, when all of the swinging stuff came out on TikTok, what was your guys' like initial reaction? Did you know that was happening? Was it talked about a lot? Like, I want to know more about this.
Yeah, I mean, I always say this, but I already had a feeling they were swingers before it like came out. And
what gave you that vibe?
So there's 2 things. First thing is like Taylor would do these like little parties, and I'd look at her Instagram stories, and she's like wearing like they'd be like wearing like lingerie type bras, and like they'd like for Valentine's Day they had cookies that said like mommy, daddy. I'm like, this just feels weird. Like there's something about this is like off. Like I don't know what it was. It's giving like college, but they're not in college, so I'm like it's giving swinger. And then I got invited to go to like cabin party by one of the husbands who was like swinging, I guess. He didn't say like come swing or anything, but he invited me.
Maybe he wanted to swing with you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
He invited me and my husband to the cabin party, and then the next day the wife like didn't text me, so I was like, oh, like okay. And then I texted her and she's like, you know, like I don't know if there's enough room, like there's enough beds, but like the night before he's like, oh, there's like 40 rooms, there's plenty of room. And then she said the opposite, so I'm like, oh, she doesn't want me to come. And then I was like, what if they're swinging and they like don't want me, like she don't want me to be part of it, or like I don't know. So that's
but she did.
Yeah.
That's where like the theory.
They're swinging, but there's rules.
Yes. So when I like told Michaela and Whitney we had a girls' night like a week later, I was like, I have a theory, but like don't tell anyone because I don't want to like start a rumor or, like that's not true that they're like swinging. And like had this whole thing, and then like literally like a month later it all came out, and I was like, I knew it. Like so like it wasn't super shocking, but at the same time it is because they're so young, and like usually swingers are older, right? Like they're later in their marriage and they're bored and they want to spice it up. But these people are like in their 20s, like mid 20s. Like it's still shocking.